There's been an ongoing study into whether Parkinson's disease can be caused by head trauma suffered in sports like boxing. One of the most famous boxers of all time, Muhammad Ali, has Parkinson's, and doctors say that while they can't be sure of the link, they do believe that it was a contributing factor to the progression of the disease.
So it may come as a surprise to you that more and more people with Parkinson's are actually finding relief through the sport of boxing. Daybreak's Pete Gallivan spent weeks with one group of patients who are punching back at Parkinson's.
For many years, Norm Paolini has worked hard to help the less fortunate and spread the word of the Lord as a co-founder at St. Luke's Mission of Mercy in Buffalo.
There's a lot of guys that are worse than me in their physical well-being.
But now he is fighting to keep his own spirits up as he battles Parkinson's.
With me, it's not tripping on myself, being able to stand upright and not give in to the tremor that pulls you away.
And when I say battle, I mean battle. Norm has taken up boxing as a means of fighting off the symptoms and progression of the disease. Sue Giluli is a lay minister at St. Luke's, and she has come along to help.
But he's focused on that. There's no tremors.
There's no shaking. He can focus right on that, and he's really concentrating. And then I see that in other aspects of his life, I think.
And I can see it as well. I began working with Norm and this group, training, observing, and building a relationship with them for the past 8 weeks. When I first met Norm, Sue was always close by as he worked out to keep tabs on his balance. The classes have not only helped his body, but also his spirit.
His balance is a lot different, and I think his confidence in himself. I mean, when we see him walk, he usually uses a cane. Lately we see him walk without the cane.
When you exercise, the muscles get stronger, and you don't have to put as much restraint to hold yourself.
Balance, focus, it's really incredible.
Norm is one of about a dozen people who are part of this boxing fitness class offered by Casey's Fitness.
It's as much about a support group as it is about exercise, isn't it?
Even more so.
Casey's owner, Kevin Cunningham, an accomplished boxer and black belt in Aikido, says that he began using this approach by accident about 20 years ago.
One of my clients came to me and said, listen, is it too late for a 60-year-old guy to learn boxing? I said, no. And he said, well, I have Parkinson's. Is that a problem? And I said, no.
Now, he had heard of a program in Indianapolis called Rock Steady that was having good results. So Kevin put together a program of his own that focused on technique, concentration, weight transfer, and balance. He drew on his martial arts background to teach his students how to safely fall as well. And after 3 months of training, a major surprise for Kevin, his clients, and most notably, his client's doctor, who had just administered a routine test.
We've done this test on over 1,000 people, and you've actually improved. No one has ever improved.
Now, the Rock Steady program experienced similar results, prompting several studies over the past 2 decades. A 2012 study conducted by the Oregon Research Institute found that Parkinson's patients who did Tai Chi twice a week for 6 months had better balance and control over their movements than those who did just weight training and stretching. And Kevin's clients say that after 4 months now, they're seeing results too.
When you have the mitts on and when you're focusing, the tremors seem to stop.
Yeah.
The movement. Have you noticed that as well?
Yeah, while you're punching, you don't ever tremor as much.
The focus is a big part. I think it's one of the things Kevin's been looking and working on.
Cindy Menard has been a personal fitness trainer for 7 years and recently brought one of her clients to Kevin's class, a friend who has dealt with Parkinson's disease for 7 years. Although the disease forced her to retire from her job, exercise routines such as bicycling and boxing have restored her independence and confidence.
I haven't really seen a lot of progression.
Cindy says her friend is now preparing for a 100-mile bike marathon.
Instead of them feeling helpless and hopeless over the disease, the exercising part of it, the boxing part of it gives them a little bit of hope and encouragement.
Why is that?
That is yet to be determined. Those are subjects of study at the moment.
Christopher Jamel is the executive director of the Western New York chapter of the National Parkinson's Foundation.
After they've worked out for a number of sessions, and not many sessions, 3-4 sessions, they're seeing at least a staving off of the symptoms, if not a regression of the symptoms, which is truly remarkable. Now, why this?
And Jamel says a Cleveland Clinic study indicates that exercise induces brain repair and that continuous, intensive training may slow, stop, or even reverse the progression of Parkinson's. and even promote neurorestoration.
It's critical to remain active, whether it's swimming, bicycling, playing golf, walking, running, boxing, dancing, whatever it may be.
Bottom line, however, is that when people do it, they seem to show less symptoms, and that's exciting. And if it can keep the wolf away from the door a little bit longer, that's a good thing.
Now, the key appears to be forced exercise rather than voluntary. And what that means is pushing a person to exercise at a higher level than their comfort zone through a trainer or a type of activity. Now, they believe that exercise may be helping the brain to maintain old connections, form new ones, and even restore lost ones. They suggest that in certain situations, the neuroplasticity created from exercise in patients with Parkinson's may actually outweigh the effects of the neurodegeneration. And guys, it is just amazing to see these, over the course of 8 weeks, these Parkinson's patients become boxers. That's why I said I had them all, named them all boxing students rather than Parkinson's patients, because it defines them. It gives something that they can hold on to. I watched my grandmother actually died of Parkinson's, and I watched her give into the disease and saw the muscle atrophy and the impact of not doing anything. So to have these types of programs and get people out and using their muscles and actually see benefits rather than just something to do, it's amazing.
And they're seeing fewer symptoms in the gym, obviously, but they're also seeing fewer symptoms at home, even when they're not boxing?
They are seeing the effects last beyond the gym and for several hours, days, and just long-term effects. Yeah, they're saying that a lot of research still needs to be done, but they're saying that it appears that it may have a regenerative power. So, and by the way, it is Parkinson's Awareness Month as well. So
yeah, well, you made us all aware. That makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah,
You explained it. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Great story, Pete.
Yeah, thanks, Pete.